Well, good morning as we're sitting here at LTV on this beautiful Tuesday morning, August 15th, year 2023, here with the Hello Hello Show. And my name is Haim Mizrahi, continuing with the tradition of public access and the tradition of the Hello Hello Show that's been on the air since 1980, I discovered lately, and not 84. Of course, not to fail to mention the contribution by Fraser Dougherty, Francis Ann, and the likes of you that formed an incredible, impressive group of followers that make it your business directly and indirectly to enhance and fortify the concept of public access. Together with us here this morning, Julie Ratner. We missed you, and we know that we are resting assured that you are active and in your with your energy making a difference any which way one looks at it. So first of all, how are you doing? And so nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me, and I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. All's good. Thanks.
So you're getting ready as usual, being involved intensely with the concept of Ellen's Run, breast cancer, and just the whole formation of that much needed awareness. So you have the aspect, the personal aspect, and you have just as a resident, as a citizen, as a part of this community slash society to give back and to try and make sure that maybe other women have it better and stand a greater chance to deal with the with any with this kind of cancer. And so first of all, where do we stand as far as, let's immediately talk about the event that's going to take place already
Okay.
this a couple of Saturdays from now, and then we'll open a discussion.
Well, the first event is actually this Sunday on August 20th. It's our 28th annual Ellen's Run, and it will be at Southampton, the intermediate school in Southampton at 70 Leland Lane. One can sign up online now by going to ellenhermanson.org, or you can, if you forget to sign up or don't sign up, or you wait till the very last moment, you can sign up till 9 a.m. on Sunday morning, right before the run begins. And everyone who signs up gets a commemorative bib and T-shirt. And if you actually run or walk the whole course, you get a finisher's medal. And all the money that we raise at this event stays in the community, where it supports the projects that we do. And the projects are specifically, we are always involved with the Ellen Hermanson Breast Center at Southampton Hospital, because we want to make sure that it remains a breast imaging center of excellence, which is a designation it received from the American College of Radiology. And to do that, it's based on the staff, the doctors, and obviously the technology and the machinery. And so we're always working on projects there. And this year, our project is to help the breast center purchase a new tomosynthesis machine. And tomosynthesis is the latest iteration of mammography, which is three-dimensional. The machine costs $430,000,
Amazing.
so it's expensive, and the breast center needs to have it because technology goes out of date quickly, and parts are difficult to get, and the machine is used a lot. The other part of our mission is to support access to care. And we have a community partnership with four different women's groups: the Retreat, OLA, Bridgehampton Recreational and Child Care Center, and Shinnecock Indian Health Services. And specifically we reach out to women who are on the medical margins to make sure they're being brought into the pipeline to get mammography and to get surveillance and, if necessary, treatment.
Yes, and apropos that, I would love to ask you about so is this awareness being increased as far as the awareness of women of the necessity and the importance of preempting and being checked? I mean, how does that what kind of progress is taking place on the surface as far as their willingness and their awareness?
For the women out here? Well,
Yes,
yeah, well, I think
just in
that's
general,
part of our
because
educational outreach, and it's why we have these community partnerships, because these are women who have, many of them have a lot of stress in their life. They have economic hardship and challenge. They have, they may be fleeing an abusive relationship. They have, and what happens with women who are in stressful situations? Their own health is on the back burner. It's the last thing they take care of, and we know that early detection makes a difference. And so by having these organizations reach out to women in their own communities, we're hoping that more women will come into the medical pipeline and have the education they need to know that they need to take care of their bodies.
Yeah.
And so, and in terms of overall, you know, 1 in 8 women will still be diagnosed with breast cancer this year. So the rates haven't changed that much. Um,
That's intense
and that's
fact.
partly because I think there's better surveillance and there's more women get mammograms and come into the system. It's not changing the rate because more women are being seen. Would be one of my thoughts about this. And it's just not going away. We have better treatment, better access, and it's kind of a mercurial disease. And I think in some ways, cancer, breast cancer, and probably all cancers somehow elude treatment after a while.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
we all
interesting that you
know
should. They.
that people are in different protocols, and the protocol works until it doesn't work. And then there's a new protocol. And sometimes it works and you're fine, and sometimes it doesn't work. And I think part of it is because a scientist could speak to this clearly much better than I can.
Hmm.
Cells mutate, and as they mutate, they learn to avoid what's going to hurt them. You know, it's almost to me, it's almost as if they have a mind, which I know they don't. But there is some way in which cancer kind of eludes treatment.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just being, kind of developing resilience to certain medications that I think that instinctively they operate. They should be able to operate instinctively, and that avoidance is really more instincts of survival, so to speak, almost.
Which is right. It's like a negative kind of
Yeah,
survival,
yeah,
in my
and
opinion. But
so, but I think that medicine is really is ready for these scenarios, and they're kind of preparing for the times where they need to kind of heighten, uh, develop something new. I don't think it catches them by surprise.
I think unraveling the genome has been a major boost to all kinds of research, understanding genetics and understanding more about genetics. I know it's not a complete understanding yet. On the other hand, as more and more is understood about genes and how they mutate and how they work and where they're located, what's happening is there are more targeted therapies, which are sometimes less invasive and less virulent or less toxic to the patient. And that's a terrific thing. As you understand how the gene works, you can target that gene and then work to stop the expression of it.
Yes, but it's also the participation of the mind. I mean, I'm not speaking of psychosomatic. I'm speaking of something that the relationship between the mind and the ability of the body to heal, and bringing the two together, and how you, as a third entity, even though it's all happening within you, you become a third entity to promote that. And so that's why some people, uh, mostly those who want to just say, okay, I'm going to go to where I feel safe, and if I'm going to die, I'm going to die there, or if I'm going to just kind of, and then suddenly the opposite happens because they're allowing themselves the love to be available, the sense of security to be available, the level of comfort. So suddenly, actually, this is healing them
Sometimes
unexpectedly, when you're not
I
think.
think there's plenty of research that shows the body and the mind are inextricably linked and what happens in one part. You can't separate the body from the mind. And there's definitely research that shows that one's mental attitude can have an effect on healing. It's like research that shows that humor and laughter can change body chemistry. There was a man named Herbert Benson who wrote a book called The Relaxation Response a long time ago. He's I don't even know if he's still alive. He was at Harvard, and he did all this research on students on transcendental meditation, showing how if you meditate, if you breathe, you can lower anxiety response, which lowers then chemical responses in the body. So it's just interesting the interconnection between the mind and the body, which is not to say if someone doesn't get well, is his or her fault because their mind isn't in the right place.
Yeah,
I think you want to always take the blame or that kind of onus off a patient.
yeah, that would be almost irresponsible to say. But for example, Dr. John Sarno, when he presented TMS to the world, he also stated attention myasthenic syndrome, and people forget that there are like over 1 billion people that have back problems in the in the world, and over 400,000 surgeries are performed unnecessarily, that it's not related to an accident or whatever. But he mentioned that the extent of his theory of TMS can definitely include cancer. It's just that he wasn't willing to get into it because he didn't know for sure that indeed he can state certain things, and as opposed to stating certain things when it comes to the muscles, the ligaments,
I think
and on all of that. But and I believe with all my heart in the fact that, so what he said, I leave it up to you. So if you want to enter certain rooms in that castle, I'm not going in there, but I'm telling you, you might not be disappointed. So I like that attitude and that approach where you say, because he's sending you there with knowledge already in place about other things that you can just implement. I remember when I went to my first session with a therapist that is belonged to the group of the TMS slash Dr. John Sarno. The therapist welcomed me, shook my hand, and thanked me for all the things she's going to learn from me. That's like a wonderful approach.
it's very welcoming and it creates a safe environment.
But she's
And
not trying to please you. She knows that if you're there, that means you know almost as much as she does.
well, it's respectful.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what I did, I opened my mouth, and after 2 seconds, I cried for half an hour, not even realizing why. And and she thanked me, and then we deciphered it together.
Interesting.
It was very nice. So what I'm saying is that uh, you have to be a believer, otherwise it's just not going to work. You can have magicians surrounding you, you can have almighty people surrounding you, but if you're not a believer, it's very difficult to achieve any positive results.
Well, probably because you create an impasse, so that it can't work then because there's an impasse to allow whatever needs to. I don't know how to exactly talk about this, but if you're not a believer, then you're not going to be open. So you've created a blockage. Um, I guess is what I'm sort of understanding.
Yeah, and not a believer meaning that you don't let that knowledge in, and most of the times, more often than not, knowledge is the cure itself.
Well, knowledge is power. The more we know,
Yeah,
the more we can make an informed decision whether one goes the John Sarno route or goes a different route. It's having the information to make a decision with which each of us is going to be comfortable, because then you have that believer capacity to let knowledge in, to let whatever good energy needs to flow.
yeah,
And you have to like your doctor. You have to trust that person. You need to trust that person, because if you don't, there are already roadblocks.
yeah, and yeah, of course, and you don't want your doctor also not to feel comfortable with you when he's just about to operate or something.
You kind of want your doctor to like you and have,
Oh yes, and be happy to see you.
exactly.
It's not like to give you a look like, what are you doing here? How come you're here? But yeah, but Dr. John Sarno used to treat everyone for the longest time, believers, not believers. He really tried hard until he realized that the time he spends with non-believers, he can heal so many people who believe in it. Help, I mean, heal. I don't know. That's your job. And apropos the Freudian couch, the Freudian couch is acceptable to him because it's just a nice, pleasant surface to lie on and relax. But it doesn't go with the concept of you cannot fix things, you cannot resolve things. What you can do is just let accept the knowledge, refine it, and let it work for you. And so that means when you go see your therapist, you're not expecting to to fix things, because the 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 the, the fixing aspect of it is the impossibility of the
I
results you
think
wish
it
for.
depends on what it means to fix something.
Y-
Is it fixing something if you can live with anxiety? Is it fixing something if you understand what triggers you? It's not necessarily a fix, but it's self knowledge.
No, meaning,
And self knowledge isn't necessarily a fix, but it can be transformative.
let's just say cure, even a better word. Uh, but the thing is that when you come with anxiety, there are 10 other issues that are accompanying it. And it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And the other concept tells you that actually your encounter in the deli this morning is that far away from you already. So that means in this domain, there's no understanding and sense of time. So you can have a traumatic event 60 years ago, real traumatic, and a traumatic event this morning in the deli with the cashier that made you feel like you want to take that chair and break it on his head. He's so slow, so obnoxious, but you don't do that, and then you go out. What happens? So in the subconscious, this is already ancient. It doesn't know that it happened this morning and this happened 60 years ago. So that's an incredible revelation. So when you have illnesses that are strong and great and all and really there to stay, you want to be able to show quickly that almost a compatible resolve, because this is a disease that is resolved. That's why they didn't find a cure to cancer. That's why nothing is easy when it comes to treating people and all that, because it's resolved. It's there. It's like there. So if you meet it with a certain degree of acceptable resolve, it's very helpful and increases your chances to beat the disease. I'm just kind of
I have
thinking,
to think about this because I'm not sure about it. I just need to say that, you know, I know from my reading that cancer is not a simple disease. Breast cancer isn't one disease. Breast cancer is a host of diseases. It's not some monolithic one. It's not homogeneous. It's heterogeneous. There are different types of breast cancer, and if as doctors research, they're finding more. They know about BRCA1 and BRCA2. Well, there are other precursors to breast cancer. You know, and if cancer was so simple, one drug, it's not like polio where you can have a vaccine and that polio is gone. Cancer has many diseases, and each organ that it touches requires a different treatment and a different approach. It's
why would that be? By the way, like, let's say if
this
you have a
is
growth in
above
your,
my pay
so no,
grade.
but no,
This
I
is
mean,
really above my, you know,
it's not that I'm expecting like a detailed answer. It's just more like a feel of. But anyway, in the sense of uh, uh, what you said earlier is actually really the point of all points. Be aware, go see your doctor, check yourself, and and you stand a great chance not to find
to
yourself in a scenario where you can there's nothing else to do for you
Right,
because
exactly. Know yourself. Early detection still works much better, and there are nothing is foolproof, right? So, but it's the best that we've got right now,
yeah,
and early detection saves lives because it's much better to get it earlier before cancer has spread. When my sister was diagnosed, she already had stage 4 breast cancer, so
amazing.
it was very far spread. She had 20 positive nodes out of 20 nodes. It was a battle to contain it. And with her doctor, Larry Norton, they were brilliant. For 6 years, she lived. And
That's amazing.
it was totally amazing. My opinion, not enough time, but she lived and she got to see her child turn 6 years old.
I love it.
So,
That's fantastic. That's really a
yeah.
great story. But apropos you and your involvement, of course, the resolve of your journey is evident. And um, but how many years has it been since?
This is our, this is our 28th annual
That's
Ellen's Run.
amazing. So
It's amazing. Who would have thought?
yeah, and this is actually leads to my question. So 28 years is a lifetime. I mean, um, so where are you emotionally now? Even though I know you're super involved and it's as vivid as if it just happened. It's not like a.
Right.
But obviously we're human beings and all this. Is there like a fade away, fade out, fade something
I
that's
struggle with this.
that that
Yeah, I hear you. I
i-
don't know.
is it something that helps you maintain the demands of being involved so closely with it to be able to detach yourself a little bit from the personal aspect of it?
It's all intertwined, and I feel that the Ellen Hermanson Foundation, through the run, through the gala, and our other fundraising activities, has really changed the medical. Oh, that's my phone.
That's okay.
Has changed the medical landscape of Long Island. By providing access, and so I worry that if this foundation were to go away, is there something to take our place? A lot of women are being served. The equipment is very fine. I don't know what happens. I feel committed to making sure that women have what they need. On the other hand,
Why would it go away? What
I
is the
don't
concern?
know. I'm thinking about succession. I'm not as young as I was 28 years ago. And while I'm still very healthy and vibrant, there are other things I would like to do. I might want to travel more, spend more time with my family. I don't want to be not involved in this foundation. I would like to see it go on to perpetuity. I dream about winning the lottery so I can endow this foundation forever.
Yeah,
So I don't want it to go away. I would like to be work just a little bit less hard. That's all. I
yeah,
don't want to be uninvolved. I need to figure it out. I it has having the foundation has helped me deal with my sister's loss because she's with me all the time, and I feel that through the good deeds of the foundation, her life continues, and she was such a spectacular person because she lived. So much good has come from her life and what she valued and cared about.
yes,
So um, and I'm proud of that. We've made raised over $6 million, given it out, kept almost all of it in this community, and so we've made an impact. And that's
yes.
it's always about this is always
By all
about trying to
means,
save a life and
of
to make
course.
someone's life better. It's not about me or feel. I'm proud that I know all these people, that I've had the privilege of meeting so many wonderful people because of the foundation.
Yeah.
It's changed my life immensely.
So I'm sure you're surrounded by people that you can tell that people will continue, people will take, accept more responsibilities
I
and
hope so.
more. Uh, it should be pretty evident in your case. And so, do you work towards that goal? To
I'm planning towards it. The summer is not my best time to do deep thinking because I'm kind of doing just strategic thinking for the moment. Like Sunday is our run. 6 days later is our gala at the Bridgehampton Tennis and Surf Club, and we want to fill the room and sell out. We have a spectacular evening of plan. The place is gorgeous. It's on the ocean, and
yes,
and it's from 6:30 to 10:30, and from 10:30 to 11:30 if it doesn't rain, which it won't. We're having a bonfire on the beach, which is kind of fun.
I
Having
love it.
and the catering is by Christopher Robbins, he's just the most wonderful person. We're honoring Dr. Edna Koppenhaus, who's the medical director of the Ellen Hermanson Breast Center, and an extraordinary woman, a gifted surgeon, and Victoria Schneps Eunice, who's the owner and publisher of Dan's, who is an extraordinary woman in her own right. And we have a great silent auction. We have tickets for Billy Joel, Stephen Colbert, opening night at the Metropolitan Opera, just to name a few things. And we have an opportunity to fundraise for um, important opportunities in the community to raise for the new tomosynthesis machine. We have an emergency fund that provides diagnostic services for women who are uninsured or underinsured, to help with transportation. It's direct service to help fund our community partnerships that reach out to women in a culturally sensitive way. So the money that we raise will stay here and is really used for direct service. So I'm
Yes,
planning a fun evening, breaking bread with old friends and new friends, raising a ton of money, and dancing our feet off. What could
yes,
be better?
and maybe you'll wear my shoes doing so.
I might try to. Maybe I
I'm,
look
I'm
interesting with
just,
my dress.
I'm just dreaming that maybe one of those years I'll just give you 250 pairs and say this is my contribution.
Well, let's figure
Give
out.
give it to.
I think we should figure out something where we'll do. Who knows? Something on our website where people can, or an e-blast, we can say buy these shoes, and whatever percentage, 50, I'll say 50% will come to the
60.
Ellen. Oh, 60 will
Yeah,
come to the Ellen
65
Hermanson
even.
Foundation.
65, 35 sounds
You
easy.
tell us your shoe size, or
Yes.
send the shoes to Haim
Here you
Mizrahi,
go.
and so we know they fit and they're comfortable, and he will create an incredible work of art that no one else will have, and you'll wear it.
Yeah, that's here you go.
It's wearable art. Who doesn't
Yes.
need wearable art? We
Here
can do
you go.
something.
Yes.
I can't think about it until after August 26th,
Yeah, yeah.
but then then I have
I
bandwidth
the
again.
good news is that I create all the time, so it's like my problem is that I don't need a reason to create. It's like how and it works against me sometimes. So I pile up. Suddenly I have one solo exhibitions, but I have like 110 paintings. New paintings, and but I educated myself and taught myself not to worry about it at all, just to be happy that I can do that. So it's never too much.
But to not worry about being creative and to know that you always have this well that's that's kind of always bubbling up and doesn't seem to dry up.
Yeah,
I think that would be a great comfort.
by all means, but also when you find yourself in a scenario where at the end of the day you realize it's very demanding because you can't just like indulge in knowing how great it is. You have to work. It's just the paintings won't paint themselves and the shoes won't paint themselves, and you have to go buy it, prepare it, think about it, package it. And then paintings also, you like it, you don't like it. You know how many paintings I bury under other paintings?
Sure.
And then I realized the benefit of creating layers. Suddenly those layers are evident. It's amazing. Even though if I have a perfect painting and I just take a blue or purple and just kind of paint over it, you would think the other painting will disappear. It does, but it stays there. You feel it, especially if you do it 5, 6 times.
Interesting.
I just finished the painting that I think the only proof I have that indeed I messed with it numerous times with layers is for you to try and pick it up.
Because it's heavy?
40 pounds.
Because that much paint?
This is the proof, you know what I mean? So when you look at the painting, you said, there's no way this is just a painting that I'm seeing now. This is a painting that buried so many other paintings. So
if we wear your shoes, we're going to be able to pick up our feet?
the only, yes, oh yes, but shoes is different. Shoes is different.
Is one more fun to do than the other, painting a canvas or painting the shoes? Do you have a...
Shoes is more demanding
Oh, that's interesting.
because people don't understand the extent of the intentional aspect of it. Yeah. So when you see that, it's like this line that's there. I want it to be there. The blue, the configuration, the red.
So it's not really accidental.
Yeah. That no way. That red line. I wanted it there. And so now I'm more successful. Even that red here, the line. I know how to make sure that when I attempt to do that it will happen. It took me thousands of them before I managed to when I give someone a pair of shoes, it's really like I'm giving him a painting of mine, and instead of hanging it on the wall, he just puts it on, wearing it. Exactly.
Wearable art.
Exactly.
Fabulous.
And really effective. And when you give shoes like these are like state of the art shoes, the Nike, but this particular Nike is the running Nike. It's the last of the old fashioned running pair. So, it's $150 shoe and it's perfectly comfortable and it's state of the arts and it's new age and it has a new age painting on top of it. So it's like you can't even find a price that will.
But you have to have shoes for every occasion in your life.
Oh yeah, I have. Because I tried all the shoes that
and your kids, do they all have shoes?
Oh yeah, they're tired of it. They don't want anymore. Can
But
you
their
believe
feet
it?
grow. No, I can't. But their feet grow, especially the little ones.
Yeah,
They
but they're
grow.
not impressed anymore. I overdid it. So that was my mistake. Also, they called me from school, but you believe it or not, and say your shoes are absolutely fabulous. But kids get jealous. The teacher told me. I mean,
Wow.
we're very close to one another. So she said, I don't know. It's up to you what you're gonna do, but kids talk about it. Kids say, "Oh, tell your dad to make one for me."
Well, how about birthday parties? Just give them a pair of shoes for a birthday.
Oh
party.
yeah, I do that all the time. I do.
I was having I met someone for dinner at Almond in Bridgehampton, and somehow your shoes came up. So I showed a woman next to me a picture of your shoes. She said I would get them for my daughter-in-law. She said, "Who is this person?" So I sent her your name. I don't know if she ever reached out to you, but I sent her your name. She loved them.
How about I leave for 2 minutes and you are going to give the information of the, and I'm going to go bring the shoes and present it to you.
Okay, so what do you want me to give up?
All the information of the event Sunday and then the benefit. And in 2 minutes I'll be back. If I'm not back, start all over again like a
Okay, that's so great. So while you're gone, I will tell everyone that we want to see you to lace up and come.
It's never too close.
Lace up and come to the 28th annual Ellen's Run on Sunday, August 20th at the Southampton Intermediate School, 70 Leland Lane. The run goes off at 9 o'clock. And for those of you who have little people in your lives, we have a kiddie run at 8:30. We have a DJ who will play warm-up music. We have warm-ups in Zumba with Claudia Gonzalez, also before the run to get you ready for the race course. And it's going to be a great day. Everyone who crosses the finish line gets a finisher's medal. Breast cancers will get a beautiful pink rose because we always want to honor the breast cancer survivors. And it's just a high-spirited, great fun event. And it builds community, and there's a wonderful sense of community. Then 6 days later, you can get all dolled up and dressed up and come to our gala at the Bridgehampton Tennis and Surf Club on Mid-Ocean Road. And that's Saturday, August 26th from 6:30 to 10:30 with a bonfire on the beach from 10:30 to 11:30. There'll be dancing. There'll be a silent auction, delicious dinner, and a lot of fun and camaraderie for everyone. And to sign up for either the run or purchase tickets for the gala, just go to ellenhermanson.org. That's ellenhermanson.org. It's our website. And if you need to know more about us, go to ellenhermanson.org. There's the history of the run, a biography of my sister, members of the board, all kinds of information about us, where our grants have gone, and we're very proud of what we've done. So we invite you to the website, ellenhermanson.org. Now, Haim is back with an amazing box, which is a gift. OMG! Those are gorgeous!
Aren't they?
Look at this. This is for the audience to look at.
And you see,
Look at
speaking
these
of
shoes, the red stripe. These are amazing.
yes, and I didn't even get the chance to put the shoelaces, but you will notice that they're very stiff because there's a lot of material on it.
Wow.
This box is signed,
This is beautiful.
and they're once you wear them in, um, um, they're very effective shoes. They will last.
I like them without the shoelaces.
Yeah, you can do that, or
I'm
you
not
can
gonna
just
try
have.
them on right now because
You'll do it
hard
at home,
to- These are wonderful. I love them. Oh my God! Thank you.
You can-
Oh, and you painted the box.
yes, of course. It's like.
Look at this. I just have to show this to the camera. This is the box. It's a regular shoe box. You can see whatever they write on the back. This is the box. This is magnificent.
Yes.
Wowee.
And what I will do, maybe next time I'll see you, I'll give you the proper short shoelaces with the proper collar if you choose to use it.
Thank you.
Yes.
These are magnificent.
That's wonderful.
Wow.
That's great. You see, now
I come
now
to
you
do
make
an
me happy.
interview, and I get a present. I mean, our president was coming here to talk about the run.
Here
and
you
the
go.
gala,
So
and hopefully your shoes, so that all your viewers will
Yeah.
come to the run. These are not the best shoes, maybe for running in, but you'll look great.
yes.
Come to the gala because they're great for dancing in.
By the way, they are for running, but
What?
These, but you won't.
You want shoes you can throw out eventually.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
You know, running shoes are
But-
only good for so long.
Yes, that's correct. But it's also running with a smile.
Right. Look at the smile you just brought to my face.
Yes,
These are-
and I call it the joy of walking.
walking is great.
Yes.
You know, whether you're a cancer survivor going through treatment or whatever ails one, walking is so great. Being
Yeah.
out in nature.
The
It's
joy
really
of
great.
walking is all about that kind of elevation with every step you take. Because my logo says art walk, and so I know how I feel. I go according, how long I've been doing it for over 12 years, and I'm still like a little kid when I wear another new pair because I have to try all of them.
Sure.
So I have, maybe a couple of hundreds painted ready that I can just. So I usually
So you have
change.
an Imelda Marcos closet.
Yeah, oh yeah, and
Of
then
sneakers,
some, and
right.
then 1,000 pairs that are ready. But it's the I wear, I change shoes 2-3 times a day, so it's good for your feet.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
This is great. Thank
let's
you.
just say one thing: I haven't met not even one person that did not smile when he got the shoes, whether he paid for it or not.
How could you not? I mean, just looking at the box makes me smile. I think I have to put it out on my cabinet with my other art.
You should.
Really, this is fabulous. Thank you.
So yeah, my pleasure. Really, my
Thank you.
pleasure. So I wanted just to mention we are here with Julie Ratner. Tuesday morning. Now it's almost afternoon, I guess. Um, August 15th here, 2023, here with the Hello Hello show. So yeah, I mean, sitting here with you and discussing this issue, I, I get inspired. You're a good friend, and you're a good person, period, to our community.
Thank you.
And you're non-wavering with your action, with your resolve, and you're determined, you're intelligent, you're knowledgeable, you're devoted, you care, you love. I mean, there's so many aspects to your qualities that cannot be taken lightly, and that we directly as a community benefit from it.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you on behalf of myself and all those that I know and all those that I don't. I'm sure that they will join me in thanking you and feeling blessed in having you. And you, it feels like you're just starting because I know you enough years to say that it's like you're there full force.
Well, each year is a new event, right? And it's a challenge. I love a challenge. You know,
Yeah,
so it's always it's like when I was a runner, always doing better than the last race, or as a competitive race walker, and so it's to do better than your personal best. So each year, I want our events to be better because ultimately it means we can do more for the community, and we can put more back into the community. That's we want to serve this. We're here to serve. We're part of this community. We understand the community.
definitely. So just before we conclude, I really, is there anything you can say about like, so so what kind of progress really took is taking place as we speak in terms of getting closer, not to a cure, but to a how are the progress being materialized, and how does it look like on the surface?
I think there's a tremendous amount of research going on, and because, as I said, because there are more targeted therapies, and as there's more understanding of the biology of cancer and the almost the physics of cancer, and cancer is being looked at in terms of mathematical models. As more is understood, treatments can be targeted and be made more specific. I think that will be a help. And there are also researchers who want to know, is cancer a virus? Where does it come from? How about if we all have cancer cells in our bodies and our immune systems take care of it, what is it that allows some cancers to break through and the immune system can't control it? For example, when we had my sister Ellen's genetic slides tested, and she tested positive for the BRCA gene, so I was told to get tested. And when I went for genetic counseling, at the time I was told if I were to have the BRCA mutation, I would stand an 80% chance of getting breast cancer and a 40% chance of developing ovarian cancer. And then my question was, what about the 20%? Why don't they? Or the 60%? Why do these people not get breast cancer? What is different about their bodies? I don't have the answer. That question has not been answered, but I'm still curious.
People mainly will say diet.
Someone's diet,
It's mainly
lifestyle.
diet because it's really all in the ingredients that you consume that are just
There are people.
maybe turning your immune system dysfunction to a certain degree, and then I don't think that it's it's the failure of the immune system to be present at all times, and sometimes when you weaken it by way of what kind of food you
Possibly.
consume, that
I mean, diet. I agree. Diet is incredibly important. I happen to know people who have had eaten organic, never had soda. Only had to drink, water that was filtered. You have been so compulsively careful about their diets, been runners, been physically active, who still develop cancer. And so, we can only do what we can do, and we can only have so much control. And, it's sort of disappointing and disillusioning to think we can't control everything.
Yeah, but also it's a demanding society. It's demanding life. I mean, you go out there, you can be well-to-do with all the comfort, but still just it's demanding. The city is demanding, the weather is demanding, and in Kabbalah they say if you get upset 1 minute, truly purely, that you're 60 seconds full upset, you will develop cancer 5 years down the road, guaranteed. And the Kabbalah is talking about it. It's much deeper than my ability to interact or to explain, but it's a surety. It's not like you might, you will. When you're depressed for 1 minute, and not only upset, just depressed, truly, genuinely, deeply, for 60 seconds, you develop cancer because you cause so much damage that you're not aware of.
But
And
that's
so,
that's
so coming from the Kabbalah for me is like, there's no joke here.
I agree with you. And also it goes back to what I mentioned, Herbert Benson's book, the mind
But the
body,
laughter,
the mind body response. And he talks about fight flight. That if a dog were, like a mean dog were coming down the street and you were to run away, you would have all those endorphins, all those chemicals coursing through your body, but you would get rid of it because of the physical activity of running away. If you're super angry, to your point, and you have all those chemicals in your body, they don't dissipate, they build up. He can, in his book, The Mind Body Response, he talks about it much more intelligently than I just did. And it makes complete sense because it's the buildup of the chemical that causes the damage, not and it's not being dissipated as when you're running away from something or picking up a heavy object to save someone or whatever, but using up that energy.
yeah. But also, they say that everything has an angel, so that means your thought, even, and definitely if it comes out of your mouth, uh, you summon the angel of what's under discussion. So, if you feel a certain way about yourself or about others, or if you whatever it is, you you're not aware that you're actually activating the angel to approve that. So that's why there's so much self-destruction involved when you look around, knowingly and unknowingly. It's like I used to be a smoker, and I used to, dismiss if I go to a stress test or a cardiologist or whatever, and tells me, "Listen, your heart, this, that," and I said, "Yes, I know, I agree with you." Would be my reaction. I mean, that's a reaction of someone who is ignorant, uh, reckless. But it's not me. It's half of the population out there that's just indirectly, indirectly, this self-destruction right there, period. And most of them never recover because they get to a point where they hit by something, and then it's just
How much do you think that's age related? Young people, when you're younger, you're indestructible. You're going to live forever anyway. So no one believe, who believes when you're young that you're ever going to be old?
yeah,
You
true.
know, um, or that bad things happen till something does happen. You
Yes.
know, um, I remember being 20. I couldn't imagine being 30. I was going to be Tinkerbell. I was going to be young forever,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was a lot of years ago. And here I am. But I thought it's a different way of thinking.
But we can imagine that youth as if it was
Yesterday,
yes, and as if it is now. Then
right?
that's the beauty of life, that you have the ability to feel inside exactly that vitality.
I think it's a wonderful thing to have that
Yes, and
because it gives us the
but
ability to
we
look at life
granted.
with freshness and excitement and exuberance. I mean, for myself personally, I would hope to never lose that. I always want to have that excitement about the world around me or someone's, my daughter's coming later today with my granddaughter. I'm totally
Yeah,
excited.
yeah.
You know, I'm, you know, about
You're such a good grandma, and am I great
oh
mind, great
my,
grandma.
I know.
It's like you're I meant to ask you about it, but I wasn't sure whether I should. But anyway, but it's so that brings a lot of joy to your life. I mean,
Totally,
you
yeah.
can't wait
I
to.
know. I'm sitting here when I leave here. I have to go to the store to get food and
of,
buy a little surprise for her. So
of course,
there's something special waiting on her bed.
I have five of them who wait for these surprises all day long.
But that's a lot to buy. That's a
I
lot.
know, I know. Oh, that's why I always break even. It's like, whoa, wait a second. But Yeah, but you need something that, a reality that will keep you young, even though it sounds so cliche and trivial, keep you young, to maintain that which is essential for you to feel strong and to feel that you stand a good chance to survive many years on planet Earth.
I
That's
think
the,
it's a
the
sense of
simplest way
wonder.
to put it.
And I think I'd love to have a sense of wonder at the world around me and a sense of purpose. For me, those two work.
Yeah. And if you're an artist, I discover that by being an artist, if you're a serious artist, I consider myself a serious artist. There's the moments where there's a, a kind of weird, non-existing slash existing dialogue between you and the surface itself. Surface does feel like you're just about to do something that the surface might not like it necessarily and not want to accept it necessarily. It will try and derail you and place obstacles. Now you think this is wild and crazy, but it's real. You feel as if there's like a wave of energy that's preventing you from getting access to the surface easily as it should be. Uh, I accepted it before it even showed up. Lucky for me, because I started when I was 40. So I said, I need to eliminate as many obstacles and uh, energy draining, isolate the energy draining factors of my life. I need
Sure.
to be able to go to the studio and directly to start painting, not to smoke a cigarette, put the music, get the coffee running, scratch my head, decide which colors, which. No, it's just not good. So I placed everything in the studio. So when I come, everything accepts me immediately into action. So, so when you come to terms with what I just described, you become strong. Your mind becomes strong and sharp and therefore strong. And your instincts are sharp, you're alert. That level of being alert is just like everything is developing. So I think that in itself is almost like a shield, like a wall that stands between you and all these scenarios that can end your life, so to speak, kind of thing. And it's like a gym, but a different kind of gym, kind of more of a emotional, spiritual, philosophical gym, that that's fortifying your immediate vicinity and who you are. So, and I had discussions with other artists, and they knew what I was talking about. That kind of having the upper hand, because you want to have the upper hand. You want to. I still come to the studio and I look at the canvas and I said, "Do you know how I feel about it?" And that's it. And I start. So that's a 15-minute monologue that I used to have, but now I just have to see. You know what I mean?
It's
That's it.
fascinating. To me, it's fascinating because it's a whole thought process. And I'm not an artist. And so it's really a window for me. It's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And it's real. It's all real. So, and for example, hearing voices that that don't exist, and that, therefore it cannot hurt you, but you're hearing them and you don't fear them because how many people you know that will hear voices and they won't be concerned.
That's interesting. Always I think about people who are schizophrenic. So,
Oh my
yeah.
god. But if you hear voices, you want to know what's going on.
Well, in the Bible, everyone hears a voice.
Yes.
You know, um,
Yes, the voice.
the voice, right? The one voice,
Yes,
exactly.
and then it disperses itself to.
Or there's the clouds, or
Yeah,
there's
here you
fire,
go. Exactly.
or the bush that doesn't burn.
Exactly. But it does burn, but
It's
it
burning,
doesn't.
but it's not consumed.
Exactly. So, but in the scenario of you yourself and you also, you know that there's no one there. Doesn't matter how many voices you hear. There's no one there. It's only you, yourself, and you. And there's the other aspects that you allow to be considered as in addition to you something. So you give it life, you give it this. But you have the upper hand. You can just turn the canvas. You can just say, okay, I'm done with you, and put black all over. Done deal. You can do whatever you want. No one will criticize you. No one will be standing behind you to see what you feel, how you breathe, what you think. Nobody. You can act, you can react, you can be
It's
silent, you
like a
can be loud.
template.
This is important to know. So that's your domain, but at the end of the day, you work like crazy in the midst of all that, all this description that I'm giving you. So that's where you form your strength. Is that you is another painting, and you know how people will feel about it. You have an idea. You don't need to wait until you, the spectator, will meet the piece. You know already how it's going to affect. So that's incredible advantage. So you know how you are able to affect people before they even have their encounter with your creation. It's an amazing thing.
That's extraordinary.
It is extraordinary. This is the path to extreme success in terms of making people feel in a certain
Mm,
way intentionally,
sure.
indirectly, but intentionally, kind of thing. And I know a lot of people that are, so if you're a better artist than other, like really better, then it's really evident. I see artists that are just pure skills, much better than mine. That's just a fact. So they can really operate from a higher level, doing the same thing I do from a higher level, but the result is completely fiery and completely. So so maybe in a society that you have that kind of awareness, less diseases will ferment or come to life because they just don't want to mess with you. You do too much work.
Your mouth to some higher
Yeah,
power.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. That would
like
be great. I would love to be put out of business. I would love this to go away. I'll go on a vacation.
I love
You
it.
know, if that just, I'd be great. I'd be grateful to be put out of business
Yeah, that's an
and to see,
incredible statement. That's wonderful. I
exactly
never
right.
heard anyone say that before.
They want to be put out of business.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I would love it
yeah,
because that, think how much better the world would be in terms of the loss of everything. When a cancer diagnosis is just devastating. You have to absorb it, and in terms of the physical cost, the emotional cost, the monetary cost, everything is
yeah,
huge.
yes,
And that's why we need to be more proactive medically because it's cheaper to be proactive than reactive when it comes to medicine.
yes.
It's I mean, it's not cheap, but it's more economical in every single way to be proactive than reactive.
Yes, and yeah, it's like it's a no-brainer. But yeah, any which way you look at it, it's just the reality of it happening is not anything. We lost a friend here not long ago, a producer, a very close friend. I knew her only for 2 years, and we became so close. And she just vanished in 3 months. She was gone, and she
Terrible.
had I think she had a whatever type of cancer. But I didn't even know. I thought she went to the doctor. The doctor said something, and she didn't tell me the truth because we were so close to each other, and we were on the phone every day. We wrote poetry together. I I set her here to start having her own show. She started her own show. She did already 50 shows and everything. But it's just like, oh, gone. And I went to see her at the hospice. Suddenly she's in the hospice, and I don't like the hospice because I had an experience when my mother was at the hospice that all these people behind the hospice that are very doing a great job, but they're not sensitive enough. Some of them are just think that they just need to kill that person no matter what. It's just the way it is. So I had an encounter there, by the way, and I felt like I went to see her, and I knew that she's not comfortable. Okay, I knew she's not comfortable, just the body posture and all this. So I helped her sit. I massaged her back, and I said, "You're not comfortable, aren't you?" And she said, "No." So came the nurse with the morphine, and I said, "Do you mind wait for a second and go get her, grab her a couple pillows and all this because she's not feeling comfortable." So what does she answer me? Well, let her say that. I said, she's not going to say anything. I'm telling you, I need pillows now. And so she looked at me like I've just ruined her plan. Okay, so she can wait with that. So she went, she got the pillows, and I fixed her up and all this, and just knew exactly what to do. And she was super comfortable. And the more comfortable she was, the face expression of the nurse was dissatisfaction.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's like
that's terrible.
it was just like that for real. And okay, so whatever. And I almost said like, why can't you wait? She's not in pain. You can come in half an hour after I leave or something. She's not in pain now. Yeah, but they don't wait until you have the pain. They just give you.
Well,
It's just
part of it is, with pain management, the whole part of thinking pain management is to not wait till someone's in pain, but to keep a level of comfort all the time. Because once someone's in pain, it can be very hard to get that pain
But
under
that
control again.
expedites your death, though,
Not always,
because
not always. Yeah, I had a terrible. I'm just speaking from personal experience. When I had my last back operation, which I know we have different
yes,
thoughts, the pain was not managed well, and the whole idea was to not let the pain get too far out of control. Because once it's out of control, it's really hard to get to a place where you're not.
yeah, but the effect is immediate. I got morphine in the past. You inject it, and it's 2 seconds. It's effective. That's it, done. So, what I'm just saying, it should be per need. When my mom was in Hadassah Har Zophim in Jerusalem, yeah, I took off 3 months. I left East Hampton for 3 months. I went to be with her. So I didn't know what hospice is. I didn't know anything. The first encounter, I come in and I see her like completely gone. So I asked the doctor, why is she like this? She said, well, she's under morphine and all this. So, okay, doctor said. And then I realized she's coming back and she sees me. And then the doctor comes or whatever, they come with the needle. And I said, go away. I need to talk to her. She's not in pain. And she wasn't in pain. She was happy to see me. And I took her for a walk and all this. So all these months I approached the doctor and I said, I don't want you to give her. I don't want you. She's my mother. I don't want you. Give her per need, if she needs it. She says it's painful. Give her. And he didn't take me seriously. And I caused the scene there and all this until they realized we're serious. And so then I enjoyed 3 months with my mom. That every time I came, she was oh, she was awake.
Nice, right?
So that was very tough, all this. On one hand, they're angels, they're saints, they're doing great work, but on the other, they're just seeing too many people die on daily basis. So they become numb, and it comes with the territory. One can understand that.
I hear you, and I think and I also think there's variety among the people at hospice. Some are more loving and gentle than others. Like it's like everything else in the world, and I'm sure that every now and then there's someone who's not ideal, or the chemistry between people isn't great. It's how it works. And then there are other hospice workers who are saints, the angels from heaven.
Yes. Yes, I know someone is trying to reach you, but
Oh,
anyway, on a happier note, first of all, again, thank you for being here. I wish you tremendous amount of luck this coming weekend, and I
thank
want
you.
you, before we end, to finish this encounter between us by giving the information again about this coming Sunday.
Wonderful. So
And
the 20th annual Ellen's Run will be Sunday, August 20th at Southampton Intermediate School, 70 Leland Lane. The run goes off at 9 o'clock sharp. The kiddie run is at 8:30 in the morning. We have a photograph will be taken of breast cancer survivors, all the information you might need for the run and for our gala, which is Saturday, August 26th at Bridgehampton Tennis and Surf Club from 6:30 to 10:30. To purchase tickets, to register for the run, any information you might need, go to ellenhermanson.org, or you can call 631-907-1952, which is the Ellen Hermanson phone number.
wonderful.
If you leave a message, leave your phone number twice and don't go so fast that I have
Yes,
to keep
exactly.
playing it to hear it,
Definitely. If you
because we
want
will
anyone to
call
call
you
you
back.
back. So
Absolutely.
thank you, Julie. We're going to be here tomorrow as much as we were here yesterday and as much as we're here this morning slash afternoon, Tuesday, August 15th, 2023, here with the Hello Hello Show. And my name is Haim Mizrahi. Thank you to my guest, Julie Ratner, and we wish her luck. And we hope to see you here sooner than later.
Thank you so much. And thank you for these shoes. I